Greetings, creature. It is I, VK Jehanum, and the V stands for Vidian. Tonight, we will be discussing something about my personal recent practice, specifically in regards to the act of soul dedication and this most recent Samhain. Samhain, spelled like Samhain, is an ancient pagan holiday. Obviously, nowadays, people call it Halloween. On Samhain, any spell you cast is going to be more powerful. Additionally, spirits will be easier to see and easier to hear. The power of this day lasts until the sun comes up the next morning. And you know I had to take advantage of that. Now, soul dedication is the ultimate act of devotion to a deity. It is more serious than taking a patron or a matron or a pact or making a pact. Soul dedication is eternal. Like you are dedicated to that entity beyond this life. And there are a lot of benefits that come with that. For example, if you were to go a week without practicing after having dedicated your soul, you're still going to continuously become more and more powerful, even in the absence of effort. Not that you should stop putting in an effort. It also comes with an extremely potent form of spiritual protection. Obviously, if you were to wander into an active war zone, there wouldn't be that much one could do for you, but outside of that, the protection is extremely potent. So this practice is highly beneficial. A long time ago, in my early 20s, I found myself in quite a mess. I had recently cut ties with a narcissist who was mentoring me. And additionally, my closest local male friend had unfortunately developed the mistaken belief that I had been sleeping with his wife. Now, I wanted to peacefully cut off the former mentor, and I still wanted to keep that guy as a friend, but now one's trying to end my life with witchcraft and the other wants to shoot me. So the spirits told me, if you want to get through this unscathed, first you need to cross the abyss. Then, go ahead and conduct that soul dedication you've been thinking about for so long. So, I crossed the abyss, and I decided that I would dedicate my soul to the two most powerful infernal forces I knew of at the time. The first, of course, was Chavajoth. You might know Chavajoth by the names Elakar, or Azarate, or Hevau Hayod. This is the meta-god composed of the 11 lords of the Qliphoth, Satan, Moloch, Adrimelech, all them. When you summon Chavajoth, you're interacting with all 11 of them simultaneously in their true form. The other was another meta-god composed of the 72 Goetic demons. I call this thing the Goeticon. I basically made that name up by taking the Greek word Goetia and mashing it together with the Greek word Drakon, because it appeared to me as a dragon. After I made that name up for it, I asked the being if it would accept the name as an offer, as like a title for itself, and it agreed. Later on, someone I used to know would channel like a real name for it, which was Pomhadox, Pomhadox. So, I did my soul dedication to them, and I made it out of that nasty, nasty little mess and gained a lot from the steps that I had taken. Years passed, and I found another meta-god. Now, at this point, I could channel actual names for beings. This one was called Sithrakor. It's the meta-god composed of the 22 archdemons of the Tunnels of Set. Now, Sithrakor told me that it wanted me to be dedicated to it as well. So I switched up, and I was now dedicated to all three. But it turns out I had done this wrong. I would find out years later. This year, in fact. So, one night, I was meditating with Chavajoth. It showed me its true form, which was pretty intense. At one point, I I actually had to snap myself out of the trance because it was so intense to look at a being that powerful in its true form. So, it informed me that it viewed me as family. And this sort of echoes what the Goetia or Palm Hadoks told me back in the day. You said that we are a friend to you. You should interact with us as a friend. But unfortunately, I had still kept that mindset of these are my gods rather than these are my friends. So I had a servile mentality that I was essentially lying to myself about. And Chavajoth showed me that it viewed me as family to help me finally break out of that, because it doesn't want me to interact with it as a superior. It wants me to interact with it as family, as an equal. Then it told me something else. It told me that I had to renew my soul dedication. I couldn't dedicate to all three metagods. I had to pick one. I was a little disappointed in myself when I got this news. The idea that I'd done my soul dedication wrong was kind of embarrassing for me. So, I spoke to my higher self, spoke to spirits I trust, and I came to a decision. I'm going to describe that decision to you here in a moment. But first, shockingly enough, I received a role as a brand ambassador. I've been offered that by a few different individuals, but the brands they wanted me to work with were all garbage. This time I somehow got a really good one, and I can get y'all a really good deal on a really good product. So I'm going to tell you about that sale, about that brand, then I'll get back to the story. All right, I'm here to talk to you about Otter Spirit. Otter Spirit is a company that releases crystal jewelry for spiritual purposes, but there's something that sets it apart from other brands of the same nature. To be specific, that would be its use of AA and AAA grade crystals. AAA grade crystals are the highest quality there is, and even AA is exceptionally rare. In other words, these are the highest quality crystal bracelets I have ever owned. And that, my friend, is saying a lot. They told me I could choose any bracelet collection I wanted so I could look at the brand for myself. I chose their Halloween pack. I'm 5'7" and 140 pounds, so their medium size fits me perfectly. Obviously, there are other collections you can choose from. They have different crystal bracelet collections for different zodiac signs. Obviously, you can buy crystal bracelets individually, and they do offer necklaces as well. It's extremely rare for an established metaphysical company to select a satanic creator as a partner. I never thought I would see the day, so I'm really appreciative. So, if you use my code VIDIAN35, that's my username, followed by 35, you can get 35% off any purchase over $99, and I get a 15% commission from your purchase. If you like, you can use the hyperlink in the description instead of using the code. Either way, same deal. And this deal is valid through all of November. It's the best deal of the year. Stock up for Christmas gifts that carry intention and energy. Back to the story. So, I was pretty torn at first on which metagod to go with. Sithrakor was tempting. After all, back when I was leading a local coven composed of late teenagers and early 20-somethings, the demons of the tunnels of Set were the first ones we ever evoked together. So that made Sithrakor tempting. But the Goetia Palm Hadoks, That was the first metagod I ever learned about. But Javajoth kind of made sense because the Qliphoth was the entire foundation of my practice. So, 2 of the 11 lords of the Qliphoth, namely Baal and Astaroth, are in the Goetia as well, so I'd be dedicating to the 2 of them regardless of whether I chose Javajoth or Palmadox. But Lilith and Moloch are 2 of the most important demons to me, and they are not in the Goetia. The Spider Queen advised me to go with the Goetiacon, but I wasn't sure. So I finally spoke to my higher self. It told me, you should dedicate to Javajoth and its 11 avatars. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was an option. So, come Samhain, come Halloween, I did just that. After I completed the ritual I came up with, the metagod and its avatars, who were all present at the same time, they can do that, gave me a variety of messages. The first thing they said was, speak to us as you would your father, your mother, your friends, your lovers, for we are as such. Once again, a reminder, treat us as if you're equal to us. Then they gave me instructions for demonic workings to do in the days to come, as well as guidance in regard to an arrangement I have with an unrelated deity. I'm going to keep the specifics of that to myself. The last thing that was said to me was this: your allegiance with the Goetics will be rewarded in kind, and you will arise as a brother, as a god. So, a couple days later, I started thinking, like, wait, what if the Goetic demons are mad that I cut them out of the soul dedication? Then I remembered what the spirit said about the Goetics rewarding my allegiance. I was like, oh, they told me that for a reason. I was about to start questioning that. They were preemptive in reassuring me, so that was nice. Anyways, that's all for now. Have a great night and enjoy your immortality.